Hey, good evening. We're gonna work today at replacing the rear axle on a Suzuki King Quad 500. This is a 2018, so it's just making a bunch of weird noises back here. So we're gonna start with using a 17 mil to take off the lug nuts on the back tire. Put that off to the side. Next up, there is the cotter pin here on the end of the axle. So we got to take that cotter pin out. Usually just use a flat screwdriver or a pair of needle nose pliers. This guy's looking pretty good. What I did there is just stick the needle nose plier into that end, and then you can hit on that plier and it gives you a good hitting surface to hit off there. Next up, then we have this axle nut here, which is it's a 30 mil. So we'll give that a little shot here. We're going to want to reuse this one for our next, when we're on the replacement axle. So next bolt, we want to take out these two top bolts here on top of the hub. So I've seen different ones have different sizes. Here on the right, we're using a 17 mil. And on the left side, it is a 12 mil. Take that off, pull that bolt right out of there. Then this top part, this one's gonna stay up here. If yours doesn't, you can always, find a place. Run a bungee cord or a ratchet strap or something like that around it. Then this hub here, you lift up in here. One thing I missed here, there is this washer on the front here. We'll put that with our axle nut. So you can see the bottom boot on this one is already shot. The axle comes down, the hub comes down, and on the axle, what you want to do is you can see where it connects right back in to your rear. So what works best is to grab it in the middle, hold this whole axle straight, push it in, and pop it right out. So inside, there is this tiny little ring on here. So that's what's holding that in, that little clip. So when you're seating your new one back in, you gotta get it lined up right so all these splines are lined up right. And you gotta give it a little push in to pop this ring through inside. So a couple things to do before putting your new one in is just want to go in here, clean out the seal that's on there. This one had a bunch of dirt and debris on it. Make sure you're not also pushing that debris though back in to the opening. And then you can also take your hub that's here now and put a little bit of fresh grease inside of there. All right, so we got our new axle here. So it's the same as the old one. We're going to make sure that we get that little ring on there lined up, all those splines right up, and then we're going to hold it straight again and give it a little push in. So we'll see if we can get this done here first try. Just make sure when you're pushing that you're pushing on the middle part here. You're not pushing on where those boots are. Right, so now that we got it pushed back in there, put a little grease in our hub here. Make sure those splines are lined up inside. Just like that. Put our washer back on the end here. Put our nut back on. And you want to torque this axle nut to 87.5 pounds, I believe. So we'll go grab the torque wrench, set that at 87.5. So got our torque wrench here. Got it set at 87.5. There we go. We're gonna give it just a tiny little bit more, just so we can get that cotter hole line up. Just like that. Take that cotter pin. Get it tapped back through. Get that bent up. Next thing we gotta do is take down this top bar here again. Get that bolt back through there. And again, that's a 17. And a 12. And then one thing you can do, while we got both tires off the ground, just spin this. You can see the other tire spinning, just to make sure everything is lined up right inside there. So all I gotta do now, bolt back on that tire, good to go. On this one here, on this old axle here, so we got one good boot on the one side. Instead of going and buying new boots, if you blow one before your axle goes bad, you can try to take off this boot by undoing the clips on here, and then keep that boot laying around to replace one of your other ones if they go bad, if they get a stick or something through there. So hopefully that helped you out. So again, that's on a 2018 King Quad 500 rear axle replacement. Thank you.